You see these people on your screen right now. Elon Musk, Bernard Arnault, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg. Names that dominate headlines, figures that define modern capitalism, and individuals whose wealth represents the peak of public financial success. They are the faces of innovation, luxury, e-commerce, and social media. But what if I told you that everything you think you understand about wealth is only the surface layer of a much deeper system? Because beyond the billionaires, you recognize there exists another layer of financial power, a layer that doesn't appear in magazines, doesn't trend on social media, and rarely becomes the center of public attention. Yet it quietly influences almost every major financial decision in the world. This is the world of global asset management, and at the center of it is one of the most powerful financial institutions ever created, BlackRock. Money does not only belong to those who earn it, it belongs to those who manage it, and in today's global economy, managing money at scale is more powerful than owning it directly. Because ownership is static, but management is dynamic. It moves, it flows, it influences, it compounds. Asset management is the process of taking capital from individuals, institutions, pension funds, insurance companies, corporations, and governments, and investing it across global financial markets, stocks, bonds, real estate, commodities, derivatives. The goal is simple in theory: preserve wealth and generate returns, but in practice, it becomes one of the most complex systems in the modern world. Now imagine a company operating at that scale. Not millions, not billions, but trillions. That company is BlackRock, and at the center of BlackRock is Larry Fink, a man who didn't start as a legend, but became one through a single obsession, which is risk. Because in finance, profit is temporary, but risk is permanent. A massive loss that happened one day, around $100 million. In Wall Street terms, this is not just money, it is reputation collapse. But instead of disappearing, he became obsessed with one idea, not just making money, but understanding risk itself. From that obsession, a new idea was born, a company built not on speculation, but on data and risk intelligence. BlackRock was created, a system designed to analyze financial markets before decisions are even made, a system called Aladdin, Asset, Liability, Debt, and Derivative Investment Network, a global intelligence engine that processes millions of data points to predict financial risk in real time. Over time, Aladdin spread beyond BlackRock. Banks, pension funds, governments, all began using it, not because of control, but because of efficiency. BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. Together they became the big three, controlling massive portions of global investment flows, not by owning companies, but by managing capital. Many people think managing money means owning it, but it doesn't. BlackRock is not the owner. It is the manager, a fiduciary, working for millions of clients. The financial world is not controlled by one entity. It is a network of governments, corporations, banks, investors, and within that network, BlackRock sits at a central position, not as a ruler, but as a participant in a global system of capital, a system where influence does not come from command, but from connectivity. Because in modern finance, power is not vertical, it is horizontal. Everything is connected to everything else. This is where confusion begins. Because when something becomes too big, too interconnected, too embedded in global systems, people start asking a simple question: how can this not be control? BlackRock appears in thousands of companies, in pension funds, in ETFs, in central bank discussions, in government advisory roles, and in global financial stability systems. So naturally, the human brain tries to simplify it and creates a narrative, a single controlling force, a hidden government, a financial puppet master. But reality is more complicated than that, and far less cinematic, yet far more powerful. The real power in the modern financial world is not ownership. It's infrastructure, systems like index funds, ETF networks, risk engines, financial data platforms. These systems do not control outcomes directly. They shape behavior indirectly. They influence where money flows, not by force, but by design, and convenience, because capital naturally moves toward lower cost, higher efficiency, lower risk exposure, and whoever builds the best system for that becomes central to the flow. Not because they command it, but because everyone uses. Even BlackRock itself is constrained by regulations, market competition, client mandates, government oversight, investor behavior. It cannot simply decide outcomes. It reacts to them, just like every other major institution, because in a globalized financial system, no single player can fully control the board. They can only move within it. The real truth is more uncomfortable than conspiracy, because it is not about hidden control. It is about distributed influence. Millions of decisions, made every second, by institutions that are all interconnected. And BlackRock is simply one of the largest nodes in that system. Not the system itself,